Okay, ladies and gentlemen, my iPad says 9 o'clock. I call this Sawyer County Public Committee meeting to order. Can we do a roll call, Madam Clerk? Present.
Mark Helwig.
Here.
Ed Peters.
Here.
Jason Weaver. Marshall Savitsky.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay. All right, number 3, a pledge of allegiance to the flag, and it's right there for now.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 4, certification of compliance with the open meeting law, Madam Clerk.
This meeting has been noticed to the public and news media as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Okay. Number 5, meeting agenda has been presented. Everything looks good to me. Any questions with the agenda? If not, we're going to move on to number 6, public comment. We have one that wants to speak. Ms. Dilmer.
Oh, it is on. Thank you. I have a request this morning of the committee, administration, and also the departments. Now that we've had people in their positions for a certain amount of time, as you start working towards the budget process for 2024, would you please consider submitting reports to the monthly meetings that include operational information? So for instance, I've submitted to the chair of the committee 2 examples of summaries of reports that are already being submitted for ambulance calls, but by town, and then also calls to the communication center and for patrol. And in the past, having attended a lot of years worth of meeting, I know committees, supervisors were presented with a lot more information about how departments operated. Going back to Sheriff Kelsey's time, you know, people had an understanding of how many people were on patrol at a certain time, how often they might go through a town per shift or per day. And just so everyone has a better idea of what departments really need to function instead of always trying to be more efficient or cut things, because I think most departments have been pretty well cut already. And also looking at positions where, you know, trying to supplement zoning and health and the Health and Human Services Department with animal control. It's nice to try it, but maybe there needs to be dedicated employees in each of those departments. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. And I have no more on public comment. Anybody else ever want to speak on public comment? Okay, number 7, approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. I need a motion to approve.
I'd make that motion, Ron. Marshall.
Okay, Marshall, we're going to have you second that, but we have a motion by Mr. Helwig and a second by Mr. Savitsky to approve the public safety minutes as presented. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Number 8, judge's report. We have no judge today, he's busy. Okay, then number B, courthouse remodel update. Andy?
Not too much to report since the board meeting. Probably the most noteworthy thing is there's getting work done on the east parking lot. More concrete will be poured this week, and we'll hopefully get that in use by the end of this month.
Anything on flag?
On order.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Andy? Anyone? Okay. Number 9, clerk of court's office report. Marge?
The only other thing to add to my report is as of Tuesday and Wednesday, we now have 2 jury trials done in our new courtroom. Things went pretty smoothly, a couple of hiccups here and there, but that's to be expected, whatever happens. So things went well.
Okay, good. All right, any questions for Mark? Thank you, Marge. Okay, number 10, Sheriff's Department report, Communication Center report.
Thank you. Not a whole lot to add to our reports. We did move one of our 4 training dispatchers to a regular part-time positions. We are now training 3 of the 4 are still in their training phases, progressing well. We do have one more who's moving up here to the area who will be starting training probably in July, late June, early July. Moving forward with EZNet and Next Gen 911 plans and continuing to look for a vendor for our PSAP coverage for 911.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions for Deputy Rapinski on that? None? Okay, number B, patrol report, Lieutenant.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you can see from the report, our call volume has increased a little bit due to probably more people in the area. The 3 months trend shows that call volumes were at 633 in February, 812 in March, and 647 in April. This is pretty much in line with where we were at last year, which is not surprising. For this time period, our patrol deputies issued 30 citations for traffic offenses, 2 written warnings, and 8 non-traffic citations. And per community maps, and again, from last month, I didn't want to jinx it, but we are still at one of the lowest monthly totals that we've had for quite a while, with 10 total crashes, no personal injuries, and no fatalities.
That's good.
Additionally in our county, bringing our total crash units to 95 crashes, 23 personal injury, and 1 fatality for the year. Summer, as I state in my report, is in full swing. Local schools are preparing for their summer break, and we're preparing traffic control requests for the area events in Sawyer County, including July Jubilee, Radisson Harvest Fest, the fair, and area law enforcement participated in a local softball event with the Hayward Community School District to benefit and raise awareness for ALS. And in the coming months, our agency instructors will be conducting our biannual firearms qualification and biennium emergency vehicle operations course, which goes towards our 24 annual continuing education training. And of course, as always, we open that up to area law enforcement outside of our area and within Sawyer County, so we get a chance to train with others.
Okay. So how was our Memorial Day weekend in Sawyer County? Was it pretty good?
Yeah, I think it went pretty well, pretty smooth. A lot of traffic, flowed well. Even with the detour in the city of Hayward has changed the flow of traffic, but working with the city, I think it's gone pretty well.
Good, okay. I got a question for you, Lieutenant Rapinski. On you doing your report here for us at this committee, you have a lot of time involved in it?
Somewhat, yes.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to know that. Thank you. All right, moving on to number C, jail report.
Thank you. The May 2023 jail report, we've seen a average daily population of 67.25, 12.75 of those being females, 54.5 being males. Average probation incarceration was approximately 14.75. Average pre-sentence incarceration was 40.25, and average sentence incarceration of 12.25. The monthly bookings as of the 23rd, when I generated this report, we had 78 bookings for the month. We currently have 2 on electronic monitoring and 15 females being housed in Barron County, with a current inmate unemployment rate of 77%, which is slightly down from last month.
Okay. Any questions for the lieutenant? Okay, not. Thank you for the report. All right, number D, communications specialist is Mr. Krucka. We haven't had a report from him for a couple months. Okay. Well, yeah, we need to get a report from him. So, okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I can say that we have communicated with him a lot and we're continuing to move forward. Law D, overall, I think is, any radio systems has its peaks and valleys. But I do think we're moving forward with it here. Nicole has been very involved. We're still in communication with the state, with WISCOM, and we're looking at all options in the future as well to make sure that we not only have the best radio system we can have with what we have to work with today, but set it up in the future as well so that we're
Okay.
looking at best options for the future as well, because the state's looking at changing the whole WISCOM system here. And we're one of 8 counties that are on WISCOM. So we have a precedent or a preference in being a user with them. So we don't want to discard that opportunity in the future as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Sheriff. Appreciate it. All right, number E, code enforcement specialist, Brandon.
Right, thank you. So in regards to animal control, month of April, the revenue that we had coming in saw an expected drop. Late fees are kicking in for the dog licensing, and most of the people that know about it probably already got it. Admissions to the shelter have remained steady, or same pace as month before. Calls for at-large dogs and barking complaints are the most that have been coming in now. Also had a rise in calls for kittens and outdoor cats. I work with the Humane Society to capture the cats and sometimes the feral adults. The other issue that I've seen a lot more of is dogs requiring vet care have been rising at a steady rate. And it's been whether it's just an issue with the dog comes in and has an injury, or something it's not eating right or acting right, just to get it checked out. As of 5/23, radio in the animal control squad was replaced. There is still no barrier in the rear that prevents dogs from getting up front by me. Right now, the sheriff's office and Hayward PD have been helping with transporting dogs when I can't do it, due to them trying to get up front or sit in my lap when I'm driving. But as the summer season starts up, I'm assuming it's going to become a little harder as everyone gets a little busier, and I'm seeing more and more dogs out and about. So the last I spoke with maintenance, GenCom has a barrier. When they're going to install it, I was told last week, then this week, maybe next week now.
Well,
As
you need
far-
to get that in there right away.
That would be the preference, yeah. And as far as the shelter building goes, it's in a lot better shape than it was before. There's still some doors that are rusted and some that I just can't open at all. And the heating vents for the kennel area are the other issue that I'd like to have solved before the winter. I have to put the heat in the office up to about 85 degrees to have the kennels themselves anywhere near comfortable for the dogs. And even then, 85 in my office is 55, 60 in the kennels.
Kennels? Good.
As far as code enforcement side, zoning and public health, summer months are coming along with that rise in complaints. I just got a whole stack from zoning for shoreline clearing, shoreline filling, buildings without permits, that we're working on that. And then public health, the same thing with the tourist rooming houses and other complaints regarding livability in homes. And then relevant reports are underneath for revenue, calls, and admissions.
Okay, Brandon, thank you. Any questions for Brandon? Mr. Peters?
Just a comment. I'd like to thank you for your response to the town of Draper that you sent off. But that brings up another question, I think of a more broad nature, and that is, how do we deal with nuisance properties across the county? I know that was something that was discussed a couple of years ago, And it just seems like these things are popping up more and more. And I think we need to take care of them. I have to drive past that wonderful place right in along Highway 70 in Draper or Loretta. And that's caused a number of different comments from people who use the area, and including the parking for a restaurant right next door. Thank you.
Any more questions for the code enforcement specialist?
Mr. Chair, can I ask a question, Mr.
Go ahead.
Peters? When you say nuisance properties, are you referring to like livability, health standards, or?
Livability, health standards. I know that the accumulation of lots of vehicles in the yard, that's a particular thing at the one in Loretta. And it's just and the property looks to me to be an unlivable space. I mean, the tarps over the roof and things like that. And it's something that I know the town of Draper has tried to address, but we don't seem to be able to assist in any way from the county.
Thank you.
Brandon, have you looked at that?
Yes, I've been out at that property multiple times, going back to last year now, and taking pictures and trying to work with public health. The issue that I understand is that they can't get any cooperation or even communication with the property owner. I know that every time I've been out there, they are in the area, but they refuse to talk to anyone, and they won't accept mail. So that's where the issue has been. I will say I work with public health. We have a meeting every Friday, and we've been bringing this up now at least the past month. Every meeting, there's an update on it.
So I know with the vehicles, I don't know, I'm not sure where this is that Mr. Peters is talking about. But if there's massive quantities of vehicles on there, that also becomes a zoning issue, right?
As far as I'm aware, I know that zoning, some townships don't give zoning the enforcement ability for vehicles. I know that from when I talked to Jay, one of them is a Village of Excelland. He doesn't have any enforcement ability for vehicles in the yard.
Okay. So who does? I don't know. Offhand. I guess it's something that we'd have to look into, being on the zoning end of it and the public health. I'm not sure, well, Andy can look into that more too, because I don't know who sits on the public health committee anymore, so. But I will follow up with Jay on it in the zoning part of it and see if there's something that can be done. So, all right, thank you for that.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
If I can just add, and we have been involved a little bit on this and received emails, and we'll help as much as we can. But I think the important thing to remember too is oftentimes we in government are restricted sometimes to what we can do. We have to keep their constitutional rights in mind when they don't pick up their mail. And it's tough to have that direct contact with them. It makes it very difficult to proceed forward.
right. Okay, all right, thanks, Sheriff. All right. Okay. Number 11, emergency management. Thank you again.
Thank you. Attended a regional meeting virtually on May 10th. Update on the flooding, I guess thankfully, we did not meet the countywide disaster amount to apply for the grant. However, local townships and villages were provided with information for other monies possibly that they could be awarded through the DOT. And other townships might qualify for the grant on their own. We're still working on winter storm cleanup and communications with the highway commissioner ongoing. Due to ongoing summer construction, a lot of the winter cleanup has been delayed temporarily. So we're asking for an extension on that grant. We'll be working to put a tabletop together with our LEPC committee for a hazmat tabletop in full scale in the next few months. There's a correction on the meeting date from last month. It's actually July 19th, not June 19th. Working with public health to finalize the emergency operation plans for Sawyer County. They're still in the works. We're doing a lot of upgrading to the annexes, so all of the department heads that are assisting us with that, I thank you. And National Night Out is scheduled for August 1st, 2023 from 5 to 7. Hopefully it's going to be at the intermediate school again like it was last year.
I have just one question for you, Nicole. Still, a lot of townships haven't heard on that winter storm cleanup yet. Can you give me some kind of update on it?
There's been, I've received at least 4 that have gotten the grant, that have gotten awarded it. I'm not sure off the top of my head which ones they were. There's also some that may have applied for extensions because of cleanup that isn't concluded yet.
I know, like, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but like the town of Meadowbrook, we haven't heard nothing, and I'm not sure where I want to go with the storm cleanup, you know, with all the trees laying on the roadside. I mean, luckily we have some people going in there and cutting them for firewoods, and that helps, but I guess I was just wondering, I know I talked to the town clerk and she hasn't heard anything yet. I was just wondering.
I can look into it and get back to you on
Okay,
that.
all right, appreciate it. Thank you. All right, does anybody else have any questions for Nicole? Okay, thank you for your report. All right, number 12. Child Support Department report. Okay,
Provided a written report and I don't have anything in
Okay.
addition to add.
all right. Did anybody got any questions on Ms. Okamoto's report? Okay, not, thank you. Number B. Child Support MOU discussion and possible action. Andy, so where are we with this now?
I think we're done.
Okay, that sounds good.
I just wanted, I put on the screen, I noticed last night when I was reviewing the agenda that in the agenda packet, we put the clean version of the agreement and the red line version, and the red line version did not show the red lines within the packet. So up on the screen, let me just enlarge it here. There's not much change since the last time you looked at it. I'll just increase the size a little bit so you can see. So a lot of the changes or updates, primarily referencing the LCO code, which they changed, which necessitated the update in the MOU. So you can see those reference numbers have changed in the reference to the LCO child support ordinance. That's the summarizes there. There's a change in the transfer of how of what transfers when the cases transfer. Excuse me, when the case is closed out. In section A. Again, just some process changes with how copies are going to be handled. That's really it.
Okay.
And I maybe just want to emphasize too, this is not a contract or an agreement. This is just a MOU. There's already a process that the state agency sets for transfer of cases between the county and the tribe. And this just kind of outlines our MOU between the state, the county, or actually it adds an addendum to the agreement that already exists between the state, the tribe, and the county.
Okay.
This, I don't know, do you have anything you want to add? We're,
You know, I'm afraid, was there something red line on there? Because I hadn't come back to that. I sent this.
this is what you sent us. Yep.
Plus,
Yeah, that's the red lines that,
it's not showing up on here.
yeah, for some reason when it goes into the agenda packet, the red line doesn't show up.
Okay.
But this is what you said.
This is.
Yeah.
What I said.
Are you okay with that now? Okay. All right. So you're looking for a motion to approve this? Andy,
Yes.
are you okay with it?
Yes. Happy to be done with it.
Okay. All right. Committee. I need a motion. Well, we're gonna use our clickers. But I need a motion to approve and for this MOU.
I'll make a motion to approve the MOU as presented.
Okay. Second. Okay, any more discussion? Okay, let's use the clickers, vote.
Not checked on the street, but I have it, the vote open. Mr. Fitzke, go ahead and cast your vote. Is Mr. Savitsky still present?
Marshall, you on there yet?
He's trying. Trying to make comments, but something's not.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Go ahead and cast your vote.
Okay. I'm in favor.
Okay, it is approved 4-0, all green.
Okay, motion carries. All right, we're done with that one. Okay, number 13. Emergency services. Emily, you're up.
Yep. As you can see, our run volume is a little bit higher than last year. We're starting to, now that we're starting to get more people applying and getting things filled, we're kind of concentrating on being able to help the hospitals out with transfers. We only take transfers though that if we're totally fully staffed or if off-duty crews are available to take them. We don't want to limit our 911 capabilities. Right now, we've got 2 full-time advanced positions and 3 paramedic positions that are open, but I do have 2 paramedic applications that we're going to be looking at Monday. I'm going to be interviewing a very qualified candidate Monday, and then we're going to be setting up another one from a paramedic from the city of Washburn that's interested in coming down here. So hopefully, if that works out and everything checks out, we'll have those 2 positions filled. We've got all my paramedics that we normally would send out to like the schools to get their certifications done. We did that in-house during one of our training meetings. So I was able to get all those guys' certifications done, upgraded at a savings to the county underneath. So that was that. I've also, right now, I didn't put that in here, but we've gotten involved with multiple vendors that have the same kind of medications that we use. So I can kind of pick and choose who's cheaper when we're buying things. So, and it is surprisingly the difference is because it's all based on their stock volume on the prices that that you can buy medication at. So it's we're saving a lot of money that way. However, you know, everything's expensive when you put medical behind it.
Yes.
So, we did EMS week appreciation. We used donation money that we've gotten from people in the community to put that on. We had law enforcement and first responders and EMTs throughout the county come around. Just we handed out little things, appreciated for everything they do because, you know, the frontline people for EMS are first responders, the people that get there that live in the towns that, you know, are more outlying that can stabilize people until, you know, my ambulances get there, and we appreciate everything that they do. We invite them to we've been inviting them to our training meetings so that they can get to know us and work with us. And we're still pushing for EMR courses and EMS courses for people in the community. Been dealing with the the fire association and that, getting the word out to try to get more first responders out in the area. Some of the fire departments do have funding for EMR, and I have some funding from the state that we got through a grant for EMTs. So we're trying to get people pushed out for that through Northwood Tech. We've been doing, LCO is getting really close to having the EMT basic course coming up. So they're getting affiliated with the state. I just got an email this morning or yesterday afternoon, I'm sorry, about a letter that they were looking for a need. They need a need, letter from us that would show a need in our community, you know, for an EMT class in Sawyer County. And I think with the LCU, working with the LCU school, they've been doing a really good job of spearheading this with me. And I think that, and I'll talk with Andy about, you know, maybe in the future being able to write that letter up and sending it to the school so they can send that to the state. We've been really busy, but we've been able to handle all our volumes really well. We've been able to get the overtime to a minimum now with our staffing levels, and as more people are coming back from their winter vacations, because we have a lot of snowbirds that come back, they're able to fill shifts that were normally, you know, not filled by them. We're at, as far as April goes right now, we're at 23% of our budget. So I think that's good. I want to do some more research, see how we're comparing with how we did last year and the year before, you know, and see if there's anything that we're, you know, maybe be able to save some money on, or maybe be able to utilize other things better. We're getting ready for the parades all throughout the county. I have Leah Zessinger, my assistant. She's going through the communities, trying to make sure that we get, you know, get the schedule for all the parades and any school things or anything that we can be a part of that would show us out in the community. And as far as that goes, if medical examiner, I've been kind of busy. We got a few cases coming up that I'm finishing up. We've had a couple autopsies that are finishing up, and one more that we just sent to autopsy not too long ago. But and as that information gets completed, I can update my reports a little bit better right now.
Okay. All right. Any question for Mr. Fremmel?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just a follow up from last month. So John and I have been working on a few things, but just as he can go into more detail, but we did review staffing. You know, obviously he's pointed out the vacancies we have, so we are short on the paramedics. But even with that, I mean, we do maintain 2 ambulances up and running, Hayward and Ojibwa, 24/7 every day. And then as he can, he's getting are we still calling it the power truck?
Yeah, we call it, well, I don't like calling it a power truck, but yeah, that's what it's known as the power truck. That's the 3rd ambulance that's Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. But that's only, we staff that only when we're fully staffed on the other stuff. So.
Okay.
So we are trying to grow the coverage beyond just maintaining the 2 ambulances up and running, so we can do transfers and also have that paramedic a little more mobile. One of the things we are looking at is we do have pretty good employment in the basic area and even AEMTs. I'm doing some, I guess maybe tuition incentives or some internal mechanism to get some of our EMTs and AMTs to go get licensed to be paramedics. So we can grow that within rather than trying to recruit in all the time.
Good. All right. Any more questions?
I just got one,
Go ahead, Mr.
just
Peters.
clarification. Looking at the percent collected graph that you have there, I guess I'm just wondering whether I'm reading that correctly or not. Does that mean that we're basically at 40% of collections? Is that correct?
What's been billed out, yeah, that's what gets collected that they can count. And a little bit that throws that off a little bit is that we might send a bill, and I'm just gonna throw a number, but we say we send a $1,000 bill and Medicare and Medicaid only pays 800 of it. Well, we gotta say that's collected in full, but yet we still show that we sent a $1,000 bill. You know,
Okay, so it's not that we're leaving 60% of our billing out there, is it? Is it?
no,
Okay.
it's, and I have basically two people who do billing besides, like, I have Ashley Colson who does the billing for the old stuff before we got to the new billing. And some of that old billing, which is like 10 years old, is still coming in. Like, we just got $7,000 just the other day from some old billing, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just gotta follow up. It's not that we're leaving. I mean, we bill out a full run, but like he said, a lot of your Medicaid, Medicare payments are gonna be 40% or actually less than that is all they're gonna get. That's all you're going to collect on it. You know, ideal situation, even if you had even private pay, if you got to 50%, you'd be doing really, really, like, that'd be way above the industry standard. So we're trying to show with giving you that graph is that we track that really to show that we think the new billing company is doing better than the billing company we switched away from. And you can see just from the improvement in the last couple of years to where we're at now, you know, it's greatly improved. I think the timeliness of the bills going out has helped out a lot and how they're coded and getting those collections in. But, you know, like John said, even if the insurance company has settled up with us, we still leave that billing out there into our receivables, and some will go to collections, and someplace down there where we might see that payment that we didn't get.
Thank you. All right. No more questions? Okay, we go to number B, Town of Edgewater request, discussion and possible action.
Yeah, nothing more on that. I guess we'll bring it up at budget time. It would have to be an increase in the EMS budget in order to divert funds to the Town of Edgewater to pay their costs that they pay to the Birchwood Ambulance Service.
So did you and Mr. Fremmel ever have a meeting with him?
No, we have not met with them yet.
So we're just gonna postpone this for a while.
John's been working with the
Yeah.
dispatch side of it.
Yeah, I've been working with getting the call volumes to them. And I've been working with the Birchwood Ambulance administrator to see, what they've been doing and finding out, I mean, Town of Edgewater kind of pays probably 2/3 of their revenue that Birchwood Ambulance gets in. So Vince does not want to lose Edgewater, and I can kind of see why. So I'm kind of working with him to see what I could do to, for both of us to facilitate each other.
To work it out.
To work it out.
Okay. All right. Any more questions on that? Okay, number 14, Criminal Justice Coordinating Council update.
Still, until we have the second judge on board, the activities are pretty limited as far as the treatment court, but they are working towards getting that up and running after August. The treatment court team went to the state conference as part of their preparedness. The diversion program through Justice Point is doing well. The May numbers, they currently had 70 cases they were working on. 11 had current diversion and 7 had a divergent pending. 19 have been completed and 2 new cases were pending diversion, but there is a wait list of 54 individuals just based on the number of case managers they have. That's as many as they can take. Of the 54 on the wait list, 23 were currently in the jail. So there's been some talk at CJCC on if I think the general consensus is the diversion program is working. I think when you look at the jail numbers have been down. I don't know if we've got a good explanation yet for that, if it's the diversion or what else it might be, but and then they're pursuing a grant right now for a law enforcement diversion program as well. And that would be pre people being in jail to work on a diversion program for them. So. Go ahead, Mr.
Can you look into trying to find out, what is, and I guess LT also, and working together on figuring out what is the factor in there as far as why the jail numbers are down?
I don't know if.
Because I know you said, well, I don't know, is it, is it?
Yeah,
diversion? Is it this, so.
I don't know if I have a good answer. I just know like the ratio of people that we have in the jail, it's 60% are pretrial, 10 to 15% are post-sentence. So that I don't think the ratios have changed, but I don't know if you guys have a better explanation for the population being down.
I don't. I guess this month you can see I started tracking the monthly bookings or the total amount of bookings every month. So it's something I'm going to start tracking. And I guess I do have the ability to look back to see, how many individuals we have booked. I can start there. So.
Yeah, I'm just curious if that diversion program, whatever, is making a difference.
Okay. Any more questions for Andy on that? Andy, are you done with your report there?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 17. Oh, no, wait a minute. I'm way jumping the gun here. Number 14, we did. Number 15, future agenda items. Anything anybody wants to add on there? Talk to Lynn or me or Andy. Number 16, correspondence reports from conferences and meetings. And number 17, I want to thank the Sheriff's Department and the ambulance service and emergency management for a job well done, and everybody out there keeping us safe. And Brandon also, thank you. And we're adjourned.